Good.
Don't ask.
It's all good.
So Miss Maya has her own business. I forgot. Can you tell us what's it called again?
It's called Be a Possibility. Can y'all see that?
And I love the name. I love it. So we all are being a possibility because we are awesome like that. So she is amazing she works in HR. So if you guys don't know what HR is human resources. But Maya has done some of our classes in the past on Thursdays. And so I asked her to come back and I asked her to do one on thank you notes and proper emails because those are super important. And as a human resources person, she's the one that gets a lot of this stuff. She's the person at her job that hires, or well, that kind of puts people through the hiring process and also deals with people when they get fired. That's not the fun part, but yeah, so she gets to do all of that stuff. So she knows her stuff. That's what I need you guys to know. She knows her stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to you, let you introduce yourself and go for it. And we do have breakout rooms if you want to use them.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hi. Y'all are on mute. Hi. So can y'all wave? Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hey.
What is your
Hi.
name?
Good. You, Justin.
Yes, I'm excited. I like interaction. I like to talk to you guys because right now, again, we can't go anywhere safely, right? So I like to interact when we're online with each other, as Miss Janet said, or Dr. Janet, excuse me. Uh, my name is Maya. The name of my company that I have is Be a Possibility. Yeah, I make shirts and stuff too. So like I made this. This is fun. So you could totally start your own business because if I can do it, y'all can do it because y'all are way smarter than I am. I'm sure of that already. But I do work in human resources. I heard someone mention also specifically diversity, equity, and inclusion. I work in that space at Allstate and also with my own business. So I help people learn how to better navigate the world, how to understand one another, how to have conversations, how to be civil, and how not to get in trouble just through the basic means. So you would be surprised. You guys already have a very good start with the Eagle Scholars Program, learning how to navigate the world, but there are some adults who don't even get it yet. So you guys are ahead of the game. If you have been in one of my classes before, can you put that in the chat for me? So that I can see. Because, Eagle Scholars are my favorite, and I tell everybody that. I promise I do. So we are talking tonight about thank you notes and emails. How many people write emails on a regular basis to people other than your teachers and Dr. Janet or your interns? Can you all use, do you have reactions? Okay, so cool. Like I said, I like to talk and interact with you all. So if you can show me through your interactions, yeah, there you go. I see some hands
I
raised.
use the phone.
Awesome.
I use the phone to interact with my thing because I really don't feel comfortable with email stuff. So that way.
Well, that's good because there are some people who never use the phone and they don't know how to do that properly. So you're learning skills so that you can navigate both sides, so that you're able to communicate verbally as well as written. And that is a great skill to have. So a little bit of practice on both so that you can get comfortable and that you're able to reach people, not just verbally, but also using your written skills as well. So when you send emails, you usually, if you're sending them to your friends, are you making sure that you're being very professional? Or are you making sure that it's something that if your parents saw it, they would completely understand it and not have any words in there that maybe they don't quite get? Because I'm an old lady. I have a 11th grader myself, and there are some words that she may use that don't make sense to me because 11th graders sometimes talk a little different than older people. So when you're emailing your friends,
We don't email people anymore. Like we use messages. Like
so okay, that's a great point. So that email is outdated. So I will tell you all, when I was in 10th grade, email was brand new. Like a lot of people didn't have email yet, and they started to get that. So now that email is outdated, even when you're using messaging, that's very important, because even in my job, I will get messages from teammates at work, other adults, and it's important because those are written communication as well, even though they may come through a cell phone or an instant messenger or a DM of some sort. So if you're writing an email, sending a DM, or sending a text message to somebody who is your friend, are you using emojis? Are you using abbreviations? Are you using language that sometimes only you guys use? Or are you using formal language and making sure everything is written correctly and spelled correctly? And if somebody printed it out, that they would absolutely understand what you're saying.
I use all of them.
You say you use both of them?
I use everything. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a difference when you are talking to your friends, or maybe somebody you're comfortable with, maybe even your parents sometimes, because my mom, she sends me emojis sometimes and I look at it like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, what are you talking about? So it's very, very informal. It's comfortable. And that's okay when you are having informal communication with somebody that you know, somebody that you have a relationship with, somebody who does not have the expectation that this is going to be maybe brought up later or used as proof of something in the future. When you are dealing in a professional capacity, you want to make sure that you are being formal and that you are being as specific as possible and that you are being as professional as possible. Even as younger people, this applies both in and out of school and in and out of a work situation. You want to make sure that you are being as clear and professional as possible in your communication with people, especially people who you don't know well, because using emojis instead of words or abbreviations that people may not be familiar with leads to miscommunication, and then someone can then create a judgment about you that may not be true, or they can discount your message and think it's not important because it wasn't given to them in a way that they understood it. So if you had a question for me and we haven't met, or Dr. Janet gave you my number and you texted me something and it was full of emojis and abbreviations and things, and I didn't respond to it, how would that make you feel?
It will make me feel very, very sad. I said, why she's not responding? What is happening?
What
is she
happening?
mad?
Why isn't she talking to me? Why isn't she responding to me, right? But if I get that and I don't understand it, maybe I don't know how to respond to you. Maybe I don't know what it was you were trying to tell me. Or maybe I thought it was spam. Because I don't know.
Wait, don't go to your breakout rooms, people. No, don't click that. Sorry. Don't
I think they all
click.
did.
Don't click. I don't know what happened. Sorry, Maya.
It's all good.
I don't know what happened. It just all of a sudden said everybody's going to breakout rooms.
I closed them. I don't know if I'm like a host now, but I closed them.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, folks back. I see. All right, I see the numbers.
They'll all be coming back in 30 seconds because she closed
Okay.
the room. Thank you, Lupe.
Zoom can be a very, very fun place when you want it to be. Okay, so if I didn't recognize your phone number and your message was not clear, I may have thought it was spam, and I'm going to disregard it because I don't know what's going to happen if I respond to that, and I don't know what you wanted. But then because it was not clear on your side, because you were comfortable and informal, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but you're also feeling ignored because you never got a response from me. It's like, Dr. Janet said she was going to help me out. She just ignored me, just, didn't return my, she ghosted me. What's up with that? Like, she's rude. I'm not rude. I just maybe didn't know what you wanted. So if you are meeting someone for the first time, or you're reaching out to someone for the first time, what is a appropriate way that you all can think of to introduce yourselves in writing?
My name is Anwar Sadek, and what is your name? Nice to meet you. Have a great day. Something like that.
Yes. Keep them coming. Yes. I'm liking the answers.
How was your day been? And what is going on?
Okay. Very good. So, yes, you want to introduce yourself, especially if it is the first time that you are reaching out to someone to establish communication. So, you want to have hello to the person. That is also very important. Sometimes you may be reaching out. I know that some people are getting prepared for college. Yes? Who's getting ready for college? Yeah. So you're getting ready for college. You may have to write letters or reach out to schools to get information about applications or to learn about a certain department and things. And somebody might say, oh, just send an email to the sociology department. They don't give you a name of a person. So you might want to start with just hello, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, however you feel, or just hello. If you don't have a specific name to start your communication with, just start with a general greeting. So hello, universal, it works. If you know the person, I personally only stick to hi if I know the person, and then I say hi, whatever that person's name is. So if I send an email to Dr. Janet, be like, I might hit her with a hey, Dr. Janet, how you doing? That's because I know her. If I wasn't, I would say, good evening, Dr. Morrison Lane. I hope that this finds you well. You hear a difference in the tone and how that introduction goes?
Yeah.
All right, so if I am writing an email to a former mentor who came and did a class, and this mentor's name is Mr. Jones, and he told us to call him Mr. Jones the whole time, but I know him. What's one way that you would open up an email to Mr. Jones?
Hey Jones, how you doing?
Maybe, depending on how cool you were. All right.
Even though he's your friend, you still have to reach at him in a professional manner.
That is, yes, that is absolutely correct. I am personally a fan of, until you know for sure that it's okay to be comfortable with someone, always stay formal until you are given suggestions otherwise. So if the first time you reach out to me, you say, hello, Miss Winston, how are you? I'm just like, oh, call me Maya, it's cool. So the next time I hear from you, hi, Maya, it's fine. But if I never said, oh, it's fine, call me this, or give you a preferred name, always stick to the formal when you are addressing someone, especially in writing. You don't want your message to be disregarded or discounted because somebody was offended or felt like you did not address them correctly from the first line. And as unfair as that sounds, it happens all the time. I'm not saying it's right or wrong because I didn't make up the rules. I'm just trying to share what I know with you guys. It's not necessarily the fair, but it does happen all of the time. So we're writing a formal email to a potential or to someone who's given us a scholarship. How do we start that email, or how do we start that letter? A formal email to someone who has given us a scholarship.
Hello, Miss. How are you? Start from like that, like with the basic stuff,
Yes.
and then with some greeting and just have some manners and polite, and go with it.
Yeah.
And
Yes, love it. Manners. Manners are always great. Manners go a long way. So I've heard a couple of people initially, after your initial greeting of hello by the person's name or hello just in general, you can ask a question of how are you? Another way to do that is to express that same sentiment. I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you're having a nice day. I hope you had a nice weekend. I hope your day is going well. And then get into your further message. So you don't always have to ask, how are you? Because sometimes that can throw off a conversation. So what is a introductory line other than the ones that I gave you as an example? Can anyone else give me another introductory line? Hope this message finds you well. Yes, that's a good one.
have a nice day.
I hope you're having a nice day. Yes, that's a good one. One more.
I hope I made you. What is it called? I hope this message is something like that. I really don't know.
No, that's a good start. I hope this message,
Helped
you know,
you.
well,
I
so,
hope this message, something. I really don't know.
okay, so that's a good segue though too. So if I hope this message helps you, I would put that at the end of the message if I was giving someone advice or I was answering a question that they provided in a prior correspondence.
Hope
Yeah,
your family's
hope
doing
this
well.
letter finds you in good health, especially right now with everything going on, is yes, also a great answer. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hope your family is doing well, if they have one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you know that and you know that they have family, yes, it is very good to reference that. And that actually gets into my next point. So 5 points to whoever said that. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, had to be a mom for 5 seconds. Okay, so that is a great point. Referencing something that you know about the person in the communication. If you know that person, if you've been introduced to them before, that is a great thing to do because it helps you to build the relationship and to make sure that you're able to effectively communicate. How do you feel when you get a note and a message from someone and you've met them before and they remember something about you in the message? Does that feel good? Or you're just like,
That will feel like an awesome, oh, he remembers about me.
They remember something about you. Yes, that's always great. You know, it's acknowledgement is awesome. Yes, a personal touch. Exactly. And so if you are reaching out to someone who you have interacted with before, who you do or have had communication with, it's okay to add a personal reference after your initial greeting to help further your relationship and your communication with them. So if you met me and I told you I had a cold a couple of weeks ago, but or when you met me, I had a cold and you were talking to me 2 weeks later, what is something personal that you could say to me in a communication that would
Are
be?
you feeling well?
Hope you're doing better.
Yes, 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 awesome. So if I met one of you all and you told me about your favorite class, or you told me that you just got a new puppy, what is something that you may expect to see in a correspondence from me if I'm emailing you or if I'm sending you a card to say hello?
How was your puppy been? How was your class is going? Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Dr. Janice says more y'all need to pipe up. I know you all can talk. I've heard you do it. So feel free. This is a learning zone, which makes it a safe zone, which makes it a brave zone. And we learn and we grow and we get better when we get outside of our comfort zones and put ourselves out there. So can we get a thumbs up for everybody who's agreeing to participate in a brave zone?
Yes.
Yes, I am ready
Thank
to
you.
participate. Participate. That was I meant.
Come on, then come on. Who's stopping you? Nobody.
Nobody.
I'm not.
Yes.
Nobody.
Ain't gonna stop me no more.
That's
Yep,
it.
no one can stop us at all because we are the Eagle Scholar.
Yup.
Come on now, hype it up. That's what I'm talking about. I like the energy tonight. That's it. So we are going to move into, so we talked about introductions. So you usually have to make sure that you are clear when you are writing a communication. What is your goal in writing the communication? That's a good thing to know. To know, are you doing this with the expectation of an answer? Are you just reaching out? Are you sending greetings? Or are you making a request? When you know the reason why you are reaching out, that helps to set the expectation not only for yourself, but also for the person who's receiving the message that you are sending. So if I'm sending a birthday card to my grandma and I just want to send that out and send her a birthday card, am I necessarily doing that because I expect her to send me back a whole bunch of like thank you notes and letters and gifts to me in response to that note? Or is it extending greetings?
That is it, extending greeting so
It is.
that she can come to your party, like your birthday party, have fun with your grandpa and call your family and friends, hang out, have some fun. That's all the fun stuff.
Have some cake. Cake is the most important part.
Oh yeah,
So yeah.
yep, cake, definitely. I like the cake.
Yes, I do too. We're friends now. So yes, extending of greetings. Another way to do that, yes, and doing it out of love. Yes, definitely. Another way to do that also, there are people who it doesn't have to be a special occasion. You can just send a card to say hello, but there isn't necessarily an expectation of receiving a response. Now, we go back to the example where we're talking about requesting information for college. I know so many things are online now, but say you're submitting online a form because the school you really want to go to, you want to get more information about them, or you want someone to reach out to them. If you had to send an email to request that information, what is the tone going to sound like? And what is your expectation of a response? You expect to never hear from them again after you send an email that says, hi, I really want to go to your school. I'd like to learn more about your biology curriculum. Please let me know what else I have to do. Do you expect to never hear from them again?
Nope. I want to hear more about the schools that I want to go to. So I will be personally want to hear about their school and see what is going on with their school, so that I can get into that school. So when I am sending the message, my voice, like, especially like in, just say I am in a person talking to that person, but in online it will be more like an, I want to know more about your school. Can you tell me some, say hi or hello, nice to meet you, something like that. Did you ever meet them? We'll go with that. And if they doesn't understand what are you talking about, I really don't think so. They will be kind of going to respond back if they don't understand. If they understand, they will probably going to respond back, because your email or your message have been clear to that person, and that person understand what are you talking about.
Correct. No, you need to teach this, not me. What doing it? So,
I don't know. You
I
are
mean,
here.
I feel like you got it. You can teach this. I can go
I
eat
got
chicken.
your back.
You can
I
teach
got your
this.
back. I got your back, I guess.
You do. I appreciate you. Thank you. That makes me feel so much better to know you have my back and that you are here.
Yep, no problem. No problem. I am here to hold your share if you ever fall down.
I appreciate it. So, if we're with an expectation, we are besties, like stepbrothers. Did we just become best friends? Yep. So I hope none of y'all has watched that. That movie is inappropriate for your age group. Some of you have, because you're laughing. You know what I'm talking about. So as a group, we're writing a letter to a admissions counselor, and we're asking for information. So I hope that you guys can see this. I'm going to try writing on the board. All right.
Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. So how are we going to start it? We don't know the name of the admissions counselor. But
we can start with saying, hi, hello, what is your name? My name is...
Wait, hold on. Which one are we going to say? Hi or hello?
Hi. They start with hi.
Why hi? Tell me why.
You can say good evening depending what time is it. Like good morning, or like good evening, good night. My name is whatever. Can I please have your, like, some information or something that you need from him? Like,
okay. Before we get into our ask, we're starting with the greeting. Are we going to do a formal greeting or an informal greeting? We don't know.
Formal.
Which one?
Formal.
Formal. So what's formal? Where are we going to start with formal?
Hello. Yeah.
Let me see if this one's better. So yes, hello.
They have some good things in the chat.
That's what I was just gonna say. Thank you, Lupe.
Yeah. They're saying hello. They're saying dear admissions counselor at X University. Yeah.
Yes.
Lupe, why don't you read the ones out in the chat as they come up? That way Maya can do the board.
Yeah, if you're too shy to say it out loud, I can read it for you.
I'm seeing them
They
here.
are not shy. They're just scared to speak up. That's all.
Well,
They're scared.
and Anwar and Ro, you might want to like pause for a little bit to give
a
them,
chance.
other people aren't as eager to speak out. So give them a little space so that they can have some time to think and express themselves. And I need all of you scholars to speak out. So, because yes, this is your learning opportunity.
Okay. So we got.
Yes, please speak up. This is a learning opportunity that Dr. Janice said.
Okay,
Yes.
but you got to stop talking for a little bit, Anwar.
He's the group spokesperson tonight. All right, so we got the first part. There's also one, and it may be a bit outdated, but there is a very general greeting that is very, very formal. And it is not hello. It is used usually in business, and it starts, if you've heard this before, raise your hand. To whom it may concern. Yes. Who's that? Evelyn? Evelyn was on it. Exactly. To whom it may concern. That is very formal. And so that
I typed it. So
that is an option. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just typed it out so they can see it's to whom it may concern, to be really formal.
Yes, yes. So, Ms. Robles, when you get something that says to whom it may concern, is that your favorite greeting to see?
I used to work in admission, so I'll take it.
Okay.
Because it could mean it could go to me, or I can forward, it gives me permission to forward it to the person that it really does concern, because I work in admissions, not scholarships or financial aid. So sometimes I could help, and sometimes I could forward it on to who could really help.
Yes. Okay. So that is a very, very formal introduction. That's a very formal greeting. That is also an option. So we got our greeting down, first part. So second part, we are still talking to an admissions counselor and we are writing to request information. What's our next line going to be?
I would say to introduce yourself.
Yes. Nice.
Thank you.
You're going to introduce yourself. What are you going to do after you introduce yourself?
Probably tell the thing what you have to say.
Ask auditory.
Get to the point.
Wait, who said that?
Me, Sagab.
Hi. Yes, get to the point. So what is the point?
Somebody also put state your question.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you're going to state your question. What is the question we're going to ask in this particular? Put it in the chat for me. So what are we asking for?
You can ask how good or how competitive like one part of the program is. Maybe like how good their biology program is or their biology major.
That's a great question. What's another question? Mm-hmm. Admission status? Yes. What's another question that you would be asking an admissions counselor that you are sending a introductory message to? Scholarship eligibility requirements. That is a extremely important question coming from a mama. That is an extremely important question.
Maybe you can ask like how long it would take for you to hear back about your acceptance to the university.
Yes. Requirements to apply. Yes. Yes, these are all great. So yes, stating your question. And so after you've stated your question, what do you think is information that you should include after that? Yes. I'm sorry, it's in the chat, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, for me, I would say maybe include like your student ID from the university, because that allows them to actually go into your file and just check up on like all the documents you have sent in, or if you've been accepted and stuff. So it just kind of makes it easier for them.
So I would say to be very careful about information you're putting in your email, specifically identifying information. I would wait to be specifically asked for a student ID, to be asked for any other identifying information by the person who responds to your request.
I'm gonna disagree on that one because it could take you 2 days for me to write you back just to ask you for that. So if you already have contact with your admissions counselor, please always include it, because I have to go through all my emails and I could have literally 50 emails in just one day. So it does make it easier on their admissions counselor. But yeah, generally speaking, you don't want to be giving birthdays, you don't want to be giving any socials, you don't want to give any of that. If they have an ID number, it is okay to give them just that ID number, because it's very limited what they can do with it.
Okay.
But yeah.
So your ID number and your contact info for them to respond to you, even though it's an email, put it in there. I can be reached at insert email address, or I can be reached by phone at enter your phone number. So if we're talking about a different scenario that was not admissions, and I agree with what you're saying, if there's an established contact with your admissions counselor. So I've worked also in the capacity in auto insurance, where people would send me all kinds of personal information that I did not ask them for in an attempt to locate something. And if it got into the wrong hands, yes, social security numbers, birthdays, all kinds of security private data that they freely would give either on the phone or via email, that then is very dangerous for you to release without there being prior contact or knowing who it is going to or how it will be stored or used. So be very cautious about that. But if you have a relationship, as that was Ms. Robles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just make sure I'm giving proper attribution for the information regarding submitting your information to get a response back in regard to your inquiry. So we've given them information, we've introduced ourselves, we stated our question or our request, we told them how to contact us. What's left? How do we end the letter?
I thank you for your time.
You put to, or like from to, or something like that?
not at the end of the letter. So you can thank them for their time. I look forward to hearing from you. Please let me know if you need any additional information. Sincerely, cordially. There are very different cordial greetings that you can put at the end, or just thank you. Yes. So you want to put your closing, and even though you put your name in your introduction, you're going to make sure you state your name. All right. Any questions? Was that helpful? Was that useful?
Yes. Yeah, thank you for your time. Yes, it is very, very helpful, and it is very, very new things for me. Me personally, I just go straight in. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. This is. I go straight in. That's what I do. Now I learn something new, what to do. Yeah, it is very, very helpful. And also, thank you for your time, for coming here and helping all of us.
Thank you for having my back. I appreciate you.
And I think what Anwar just said the first part anyway, would have been perfect for an email to Miss Maya. So those are always good too, to make sure. And it's always good to say thank you, but it's even better to follow up with a thank you note in these times. I know that it's easier to do email. Those aren't always the best. It's always better to do a handwritten note mailed to them if you can. But these days with COVID, I think people are kind of being more accepting of an email that says that. But I would always ask them, like you can do right now, like, Miss Maya, could I get your email, please? And then she puts it in the chat. And then you, surprisingly, she would never know you're going to do this. And then after she leaves tonight, like, you write her a thank you note. And I'm sure she would never expect it because she's never heard that you guys are going to send her a thank you note.
And I'm going to jump in there and just add a little bit and just put in a little bit of a plug for an email as a thank you note, because for a couple of reasons, especially right now when a lot of people are working from home, they may never get your written thank you note. So that's just something to think about. And then the other thing is, because I also do HR, so I do I get a lot of thank you correspondence. And I would say, don't worry about sending an email, because also in this day and age, so much is digital. And if you send me a thank you email, I can actually store that within your file and keep it within your application information if you're applying for a job, or because a lot of it is just drop and drag to a system, and I can keep your thank you note for the records, for the files, so to speak. So I wouldn't be too concerned about not sending a handwritten one at this point in time. And I just wanted to add that little bit of information.
Yes, thank you, Joanne. And that's, and that's so true about just times change. Because just like Maya said, email had just come on when you were in 11th grade, right? Is that what you said? Yeah, when I didn't have a computer, you guys, I'm going to age myself. Do you see my gray hair, my wrinkles? I didn't have a computer until I moved to Dallas after college. Like, I did not own a computer until I moved to Dallas. I was 23 before I ever even used a computer regularly or had it in my house. At school, I had to go to the computer lab and type stuff in and print it out. So things change, and that's the other thing we need to do is adapt. And so like what Miss Joanne is saying is two things. One, I heard her say, which she didn't exactly say this, but because you guys might not have heard what she's in HR, she gets thank you notes all the time. Why does she get thank you notes? Because she interviews people. Why would you send a thank you note after you do an interview? It stands out. If you don't send a thank you note and somebody else does, and your skills and qualifications are the same, my guess is, and you can nod or wave your hands or whatever if I'm right in this, you're going with the person that sent the thank you note.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really helpful to send a thank you note, and an email is fine too, because nowadays a lot of us don't have paper files as much. So we don't really know some people don't know what to do with a written thank you note. So I just wanted to throw that in there. We have that discussion within HR groups quite a bit. And a lot of people say, I've heard people say they don't really know what to do anymore with a written thank you note because everything is online. So don't worry about sending an email. I think you're fine to send one. And to Maya's point, err on the side of being more formal than less formal.
Yes. And I said jobs, but you know what? There's a bunch of you who have either just finished your 8th grade magnet school interview or you're about to. If you already finished yours and you don't have an email address to send it to, you might even call up to the school and ask. If you haven't done your interview yet, make sure when you before you leave the interview, even if it's on Zoom, you say, could I get your email address, please? And that way you can thank them. If you are seniors and applying for scholarships, every single scholarship you receive, you want to send them a thank you email every single year. If it is a renewable scholarship and they give you $1,000 every year, you send them a thank you note every single year. Because when people see that, and I know people who have stayed in touch with their scholarships, and because they've stayed in touch, the people think, you know what? They are very respectful. They are very, grateful that they have this. And you know what? We have an extra $2,000. So I'm going to pass that along their way. The other people that don't stay in contact with them, they aren't getting that money. So, and it's not just about getting it. It really is just about being gracious and grateful and acknowledging people. That's what people like. It's relationships.
Yes, that
so,
is
and I always go over about 5 minutes, but so it's at 7:34. Maya, do you have any final comments that you want to let them know?
Just what you just said about relationships. That really is what the basis of everything that we're talking about falls on, is building that relationship and learning how to communicate with people, because you never know when you're going to encounter someone who you've encountered before. And if they remember, oh, I remember you wrote those great thank you notes, or, you sent the email and said thank you, and nobody else had ever done that, or no one had done that in a while. I appreciated that. Oh, I remember you. And it helps to, get you places. And it's not just, like you said, Dr. Jenna, not just about getting something, but you never know when you're going to encounter people again. So, and I know with my business, like I said, like when people buy stuff from me, I send them handwritten notes for each order, and they are like, oh, I didn't expect that. And it's because it's uncommon now, because people don't get mail. And for those of you who are not quite adults, you get less fun mail the older you get. So getting a card in the mail just to say hi or say thank you really does mean a lot, especially now, because of the effort that it takes to get something mailed and have it actually be delivered timely.
Yes. And that's why we always sent thank you notes like for field trips. So even this Saturday, those of you who are doing the landscape architecture, it's on Zoom. But you know what? Somebody, actually, a lot of people took their time. They are working to plan this for you all. They have been working. I started meeting with them in November of last year. So they've been planning this. they are purchasing supplies for your to have this kit that you'll use some of that. And even if you don't use it, it might be just fun things that are related to landscape architecture. They spend their time doing this. And so, and they do it for you because all of us have been kids, have been young adults at one time, and we know what we didn't know. And so we're passing that along. So yeah, always. So this Saturday, the 8 people that I have on this list, or however many show up, I hope that you guys really make sure to say, could we get your email, and send them a thank you. When we do the acupuncture, could we get your email? Even practice with the interns. When the interns do these upcoming workshops, they need to be thanked too. Yes, they're doing an internship and they're getting sort of paid, not much, but sort of paid for this. They deserve a thank you because they have taken their time to do that and make sure that you're equipped. Get in the habit of writing thank you notes. So, all right. Thank you all so very much. Maya, you were awesome. I appreciate you pulling it out. I noticed at the end, like it was about 7:22, and then everybody starts coming out of the woodwork. So I guess maybe that means we need to start having meetings for like 2 hours, and by the end, everybody would be involved. Or scholars, you can say, how about I just start talking earlier and we don't have to have the 2 hour long meeting? That would work too. So